Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, Can Do's Daily Fix. We're out here, beautiful USA. We got another quick banger for you guys, man. Get calls sometimes that are kind of oddball. This is something that not everybody's gonna run into, but we love to help you with it. If you would, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave your comments down below, but check this one out. All right, so over here what we got is this particular hoop is a Lifetime 44 impact backboard. Now this is adjustable, okay? Now this is one of those regular Dick's Sporting Goods, Walmart type basketball hoops that you're gonna find. It's the telescoping backboard, so you can raise it and lower it to a different height, and you know, as your kids grow, the hoop will grow. Basically, we're gonna put this thing together for you guys real quick. It's gonna be a time lapse, but I will stop and show you guys something real quick. All right, guys, what you're gonna need for this project, what I like to use is an impact drill, all right? And this has a chuck on it that you can put socket sets on this one. This is gonna help you get through this project a little quicker. If you don't have an impact drill with the socket and all that, you can just use a regular ratchet and socket set. If that doesn't work, you got Old Faithful. Okay, you got the old set. This isn't really old, but this will help you get the job done. All right, you're gonna need a screwdriver, and if you can, look up the model number and the product ID. Go to that website on Lifetime or whatever the hoop is, type in that information and download the instructions. That's kind of what I did. That's the best thing. Or you can look on YouTube. There's different videos of how to build it. I think Lifetime even has its own instructional video on how to build this thing step by step. This is just our rendition of it. So real quick, guys, get all your products, get everything laid out, get all of your stuff laid out, right? You got your set that's gonna have all of your different washers, nuts, bolts, Allen keys, carriage bolts. You got all kinds of different cool stuff, your washers, your wheels, everything. This is a cap for the water or the sand. When you put it into the base, if you're gonna get to that point, you're gonna fill this thing up with water or sand. That's gonna keep the base from tipping over when it gets dunked on, or you know, somebody gets LeBron James or get posterized. It's not gonna fall down, okay? So that's what you got. You got your hoop, and what you guys missed was the pole itself. Now this is important. I'm not gonna take it apart, but I'll show you what we did. This thing is gonna slide together. It's gonna be in one piece. These two pieces are gonna be in one. You're gonna slide this piece out, top and bottom, okay? This is the top, the side with the sticker. This side right here is the bottom. You're gonna stick this carriage bolt right here. Next to, there's a carriage bolt right here, and if you're gonna notice it, right, it's gonna have this little nut on the back end of it. You're gonna stick this thing, you're gonna line this pole up into the second pole, stick that carriage bolt through, and tighten this thing down. This carriage bolt is gonna be the closest one to this warning sticker, I guess is what you would call it, okay? Then what you'll do is turn this thing around, line up your carriage bolt with the top bolts up here and make sure they're all in one line, okay? On the bottom, you're gonna have a little gasket and another screw that's gonna go here. That's gonna keep the pole from sliding up and down as you get to working on it, okay? Up here, this right here is just the adjustable knob, right? You take that adjustable knob, it's gonna have a screw that's gonna stick through, or a bolt that's gonna stick through, and you're gonna tighten that up from the front side. All right, that's basically it, guys. That's all you guys missed. So bottom pole, top pole, carriage bolt. You're gonna have a washer with a screw that's gonna lock this thing in place so it doesn't wiggle around. This carriage bolt is gonna get tightened up so this doesn't fall. You're gonna put another carriage bolt nut through here, and it's gonna have, oh, sorry guys, it's gonna have this handle that's gonna grip onto this side, and this is how you're gonna, this thing right here, when you unscrew this, you're gonna be able to raise this pole up and down to get your 8 feet, 10 feet, or whatever it is that you're gonna set the post to, okay? Now that's step one, okay? Step two, we're gonna assemble the base, okay? Step two is gonna be assembling the base. Now, real quick, I'll just show you. You got your left side, it's gonna be marked with an L, right? They're color coded. And then you got your right side, that's yellow, okay? So let's just hypothetically say, this is my right hand, this is my left. So left, right, color coded, and it's got letters on the end of it. You put the left on the left side, You put the right on the right side. You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out. You know what? I'll be right back, guys. Guys probably can't hear me. I don't feel like shouting. Let me put on the microphones real quick and we'll be right back. Step 2, guys. Step 2 on our project. Sorry, we had to bring you guys back. Hope I sound a little bit better. It's going to be a little bit windy, but I didn't feel like screaming into the camera. Hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better now. Step 2, and this is, I'm going step by step. I would do it my way, you know, and kind of go the opposite way, but I'm going to do it the same way the instruction manual tells you to do it. That way you don't get confused. Okay, so step 2 or 2.1 is going to take the hoop, right? Take the hoop, bring it over here to the backboard, and then you're going to see little slots in there. You're going to see these 2 little slots that are in the center, right here. And you're going to put that hoop, you're going to put this into those slots. And it's kind of tight, guys, so don't fret. Just take your time and get it in there the best you can. You're going to have to use a little bit of leverage, and it's going to grip tight on that. It's going to grip really tight on that. So once you get that put into the hole, you are going to grab, it looks like APO, which is a longer bolt, and it's going to have a nut, a lock nut that goes on the end of it, and another one of your washers. Okay, so you got 1, 2, and 3. Some of this stuff is going to be time lapse, so you got this one here, and then you are going to need this one is APP, same thing, another carriage bolt, not all the way threaded, semi-threaded, and another lock nut. Okay, I don't think you need a washer for that one. Nope, you're not going to need a washer for that one. Okay, so now what we're going to do is put you guys into a time lapse. I'm basically going to take this thing around. You're going to pay attention to what I'm going to do. We might do a voiceover on this one, but we're going to be real quick because the homeowner, we're trying to get this done before the kids get home. So we're going to flip this around. All right, turn it so it's on its side, which it would be better if I had something to raise this up, but I don't. So we're going to flip this around, and then we're going to get to work on the back. We're going to need to raise this up, so I'm going to go get a couple of buckets so I can raise this thing up in the air, and then we're going to get this connected to the post. Pay attention. We're going to put you on a time lapse. All right, now guys, once you've gotten to the point that you got your backboard up connected to the pole, well, again, if you missed it, we just put 2 carriage bolts in. Those the ones I showed you. One was fully threaded, the other one was half threaded. You got your washer and lock nut on the top, and then this bottom one didn't have a washer on it at all, but they go straight through the front of the backboard and come in through the back here. Now you got the rim supports. There's 2 holes that line up. So you got 2, this is the hardware you're gonna need. 2 lugs, 4 washers, and 2 nuts, right? You got 1 washer each that goes on the front side. Now that's gonna go through this line here, right on through the other side, bring this up, and it's gonna line up just like that, right? And we're not tightening everything down because it's, you know, obviously it's not gonna be set just right. This one, that washer goes on that side, and then obviously your nut on this side. It's going to be on loose until we get it up in the air. Once it's in the air, we're tightening everything all the way down. The second bolt goes through the bottom holes on this thing here, and that goes through the pole and through the holes on the side, on the back side of the rim. See that? Same thing. Then you got your washer, then you got your lock nut. Lock nut goes on the back. And again, these are just hand tightened for now. We don't want to over tighten it now because it's going to be all weird when we get it up in the air. Once we raise it up, we can level it out and make sure everything's tight. But this is just to get us going. Okay. So now that portion is complete. Okay. So you can set this out of your way a little bit. Just don't want it to drop. All of these are in, like I said, but they're loose. They're all hand tightened except for these. These ones are tight with the ratchet just for the simple fact that I don't want the backboard to be sliding around. That is where the backboard's going to go. But the rim, you can leave that loose, and this is just the support for the rim itself. That's going to be loose. All right, guys, next step, you got your smaller bolts that are gonna, and then you have this package that I just opened that had these two smaller guides for the backboard itself, okay? So what's gonna happen there is, same thing. You got your bolts, you got washers, and you got nuts, okay? So you take your bolt, run it through there. Well, first, get your washer on it, put your bolt, run it through the top portion, the top hole. Now there's two different holes, okay? And I'd probably run it the opposite way. I don't know why they tell you to run it that way, but I would run it backwards in case you ever have to take this thing off. It's easier to get to like this. Then you put your lock nut on that. And what that's going to do is line up to these holes that are on the back of the backboard right here to hold that in place. I don't know if you guys can see that, but on the backboard, there's two placement holes right there. That's going to hold this bracketing in place. That's what this is for. So again, you tighten this down, but not all the way, just enough. I'll have to get a ratchet for that. Same thing again, nut, washer, bracket. We're going to go in through this way. I guess I probably should have did washer on that side too, okay? And then tighten this down. And that's going to line itself up with that, with the back of that right there. Let me go get the ratchet. And that's what the instructions call for, but that was a little modification. It's saying to run the bolts in this way, but I think it's going to be harder for you to adjust in the future if you have to put it that way. I don't know. That's just my assumption. All right. So that's it for that side, guys. And then we're going to put the other top two in there in a second. Just grabbing. All right, I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, so what we have right here is a failure to communicate. So this thing right here is supposed to go in first. If you look on that side, I skipped a step. I put the bolt in first to attach this leg in, but that's not how it goes. So I took this one back out. I took the bolt back out. Now this bottom one isn't connected. So what you're supposed to do is take this bracket right here and then put your nut and everything through there first, and then you run it through. That way, all of these are connected with just that one bolt, that AOO bolt. It's just a little difficult because you're trying to hold this thing steady and there you go, get it through the other side at the same time. So now I can get that together, right? Because this is all gonna come together for that pole in a second. So you got to have something on the back side. This is what I'm saying. If you don't have two people, which even if you do have two people, it's still going to be a little difficult because there's no way to hold that in place. You can tighten it down a little bit, right? Tighten it down and then move it over to where it should be. It's just difficult, guys. But don't give up. Don't get discouraged. See how it just spins? Boom, like that. Okay, so same thing with the other side. We gotta take this nut back out, take that nut and washer back out, which I'm doing all of this, holding it in place in the air with my legs and trying to keep everything steady. So now, without that moving, taking that AOO and ABD, that's what it's labeled, back out. You take this bracket flat side down, put that in that hole right there first, and then that goes through, and that's going to run through that bar on the bottom end that we just did, that red and yellow bolt that we were talking about. It'll run through there, and then now you get a bite on that, and then tighten it up. Not loosen it up, tighten it up, guys. Don't loosen it like I just did. Tighten it back up. It's hot and I'm trying to speed through, but as you can see, that's a mistake. So don't do that. Grab the nut, tighten it up, and then just rotate that into place. Okay. Now, once you get it into place, you do want to tighten it down. Make sure it's got a good grab on it. That way, when you put the bolt on the other side, when you put the bar up and you put the bolt through there, it's gonna have a good grip, a good placement. I mean, if not, that bar will be loose and the hoop will be loose. Sorry for the noise, guys. I know it sounds weird. Okay, now you would lay this down in there. Boom. Everything's gonna come together here in a sec. Okay. Now the next step is to raise the hoop up into place. Once we raise the hoop up into place, we're gonna take these big bolts here. The rest of this hardware, this is gonna run through that top section that we just put in, that bracket, and hold it together. This is gonna grip the center bar, but you'll see that. All right, guys, so now this is the difficult part, but you can get through it. Better if you have hands, but I will sacrifice today if you're gonna do it on your own. So you're just gonna line this up. There was a little shoe. All right, guys, so what we're doing here is trying to just line up this. There's a big bolt that goes through both sides, and it's kind of difficult to get in. So as I said, I'm suffering a little bit to try to show. Now, normally it's better to have two people. If you have two people, then it's better if you can get somebody else on it. You know, I do have extra hands, and they're just on standby for right now. I don't know why I'm not getting full penetration on that. Here, just stand right in the middle and hold it right there. Just hold it straight up. I don't know why it's not wanting to go all the way through. There we go. Almost. Once you get the nut in there, then you can start tightening, and that will suck this thing together. Sorry if it sounds a little weird, but just making sure this is all the way tight. All right, and that looks good. We still got to get this swivel bracket. I don't know if the sun is in you guys, right in your eye. Here, what we're gonna do, guys, we're just gonna put you guys over here back onto the side, time lapse. I'll do a voiceover. All right, guys, we're back. So as you can see, we ran into some hiccups, and like I say, you might not have heard it. Anyway, remember how I told you we leave the top ones loose, right? That way it can still form and be even. You don't want to tighten those nuts until the end. So now we're at the end. We're going to go back up and we're going to tighten those down, and then we're going to add the net. So now you can go back. We got everything up. We got the base set, we got the center set, and we got the backboard set. Now, like I said, we're just tightening everything back down, and then from that point we'll put the net on and they'll be golden. They'll be putting some miles on this thing here soon. And again, I don't know if you're going to use sand, if you're going to use cement, if you're going to use water, but make sure you put something in that base to hold it steady. We're going to have a lot of wind, and that's a major complaint, is that these things will fall down. I have one at my house and it falls down all the time in the wind. So it's gonna be a 13 millimeter, guys. And it's gonna suck everything tight that we were talking about before. That one's gonna have to be done a different way. Now, and that's it, guys. One more time lapse and that's it, guys. That's it. All we gotta do is clean up now, put the tools and stuff away. Oh, we gotta put the wheels on this thing. You guys can watch that in the time lapse. All right, guys, that's it. We're at the end. We got the net put up. We got the hoop put together. Now it's up to the homeowner to get water down here. I would run it down here, but I don't see a hose up there. So all I got is a 50-foot on the trailer. All right, so make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe down below. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you have any requests, any projects that you might be working on that you need help with or you would like to see us do. Whether we do it right or we mess it up, we'll love to oblige. All right, y'all. Peace.